Ah, Japan's golden route. Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. The big three.
That looks like exactly where we're heading today, right?
Wrong. Today we're taking a detour on the Pearl Route. What is the Pearl Route, I hear you ask? Well, it doesn't actually exist until now. Today we're heading to Japan's Pearl capital, going on a lesser-known adventure partway between Tokyo and Osaka. In fact, Mie is not just known for its physical pearls, but also for the shining spiritual pearl of Ise-Jingu, Japan's most important shrine. To get there from Tokyo, I booked my train through the Shinkansen online reservation website beforehand. If you're planning a round trip back to Nagoya, there's also an Ise-Shima free pass for travelers who purchase their tickets online via the Shinkansen online reservation website. It includes round-trip travel between Nagoya and the Ise-Shima region, plus unlimited rides on Kintetsu lines around the area. The journey to Ise-Jingu is quite the adventure, as we not only get to see Mount Fuji on the bullet train on the way, but for an additional fee, we also get to ride the beautiful Shimakaze sightseeing train. The comfy seats and two-story cafe car make the Shimakaze so much better than an average journey. The luxury train glides along the coast of Ise-Shima, which plays a big part in the pearl culture of Mie, and of course, its landscape and seafood culture. I may be speeding towards Ise-Jingu on this train, but back in the Edo period and before, people would have walked trails from all over Japan to get to this spiritual pearl. This was, and still is, the most important shrine in Japan because it enshrines Amaterasu, the original ancestor of Japan's imperial family and, to put it simply, the highest deity in the Shinto religion. Locals, too, would make the visit to the shrine, and divers would even bring their offerings from the sea as part of a deep-rooted tradition. That connection between the ocean and the divine is what still defines this region today. With the shrine's historic importance, it's not surprising that a town full of food and entertainment came about centuries ago to cater to the many travelers making the important large-scale pilgrimage. That town is Oharaimachi, and these mass visits were like an early version of mass tourism, so business was booming. I've got a seafood dinner lined up for me this evening, so I was excited to find out that a different kind of specialty dish developed along with the town's success called Ise Udon.
I've never had Ise Udon before, and this special soy soup has so much more depth than a normal udon that I've had before. And the udon itself is really soft.
Because there were so many pilgrims to feed, the noodles were constantly kept simmering and were very soft, making them gentle on tired travelers' stomachs. Oharaimachi is lined with historical shops and businesses, giving hints of what it was like in its heyday of the Edo period. But among all that, there are also a surprising number of modern shops and restaurants too.
I guess all that salty udon worked up a thirst because it feels like it's time for Ise Kadoya beer. If the gods at Ise-Jingu get sake, I think I'm allowed a cheeky beer.
If you can make it through the excitement of the bustling street to the southern end of Oharaimachi, you'll find the calming presence of Ujibashi Bridge.
This is where visitors cross from the physical world into the spiritual realm of Ise Shrine.
Ise-Jingu is actually a collection of over 100 shrines in the Ise area, and the most sacred of them all is the innermost shrine, Naiku. Naiku holds this reputation because it is dedicated to the sun goddess, Amaterasu, the highest deity of the Shinto religion. This was decided as the permanent spot for the deity's worship before any of the outer shrines under the Ise-Jingu umbrella came to be.
Up these stairs, we can see an example of Shinmezukuri, one of the oldest styles of shrine architecture, dating back over 1,500 years.
The site is believed to have been founded over 2,000 years ago. Here, there are two identical plots of land next to each other, one with a shrine building and one without. Every 20 years, the shrine is rebuilt on its adjacent site. But to continue on our Pearl route, now I'm going to rest my feet on the Pearl shuttle over to my hotel. It wouldn't be right to visit the Pearl route without a seaside hotel. I love it when we can share places like this. And where there are pearls, there is, of course, seafood. And what better place to have seafood than where you have such a great view of the sea? Ah, this looks so good! I've been looking forward to this all day. Itadakimasu.
That's good tuna.
Today, we're going to see the sea people of Ise.
It sounds like we're going to see some mythical mermaids, and that's not entirely wrong.
These incredible women are called ama, literally sea women, and they dive in and out of the water over 100 times a day in minimal gear. They freedive depths of up to 15 meters or more, going to great lengths to retrieve the elusive jewels of the sea, pearl oysters, as well as seafood. There are a few places around Mie to see the divers in action, and we'll actually show you 3 of them so you can take your pick. This morning, we're starting with a boat ride from Kashikojima.
I wonder if she'll find any pearls.
Records of ama diving go back to the year 927, and they were traditionally tasked with collecting seafood and bringing abalone for shrines and emperors. Diving for pearls was not that common until Mikimoto Kokichi came along to produce the first ever cultured pearl in 1893. This innovation resulted in a much bigger demand for ama and in great success for Mikimoto, who established the Mikimoto Pearl Island that we'll see tomorrow. To this day, the divers freedive without the use of any scuba gear or air tanks. Sadly, I don't think I'll qualify as an ama diver anytime soon, so I'm doing the next best thing, pearl harvesting. I've got to admit, this is not something I ever anticipated doing in my life, so I have no idea what to expect. When choosing the oyster, there's no way to tell what kind of pearl is hidden inside. But I can feel this one calling to me. Apparently, blue pearls are quite rare, so I better treat this with care. The pearl is so small and smooth, I was scared it was going to fly away. After learning all about the pearl process, especially how different each pearl can be once you open the oyster, I feel especially attached to this one and have a completely different view on buying pearl jewelry. Honestly, I know it's a bit off the beaten path, but if you really want to understand and appreciate pearls, Shinju no Sato is the place to go. It's not just pearls that ama harvest though, but also delicious seafood. On the southern side of the peninsula, about 3 kilometers away, Sato Umian is a special spot where you can interact with the ama who cook fresh seafood right in front of you.
$15年ぐらい前まではこういうふうなアワビがいっぱいおったんです。今はこういうふうなアワビしか取れなくなりましたね。食べる餌がないから。
そのアワビの餌がなくなったっていうことは、その温暖化？
温暖化で。私らの若い時、最盛期の頃は毎日30キロから50キロのアワビ取ってたのに、10年、15年前までは。もう10年ぐらい前から海の状況がガラッと変わってます。急速に海の状況が変わったのは5年前からですね。 たね、海藻とかそんなの海の状況が良くなって生えてくると、復活してくると海女さんになりたいいうね、若い人たちも出てくると思いますけど、今の状態ではね。
Given that these activities aren't super close together though, for me, this is enough for one day. But if you want to squeeze in more activities or add another day to your trip, there are plenty of other outdoorsy things to do, like cycling tours or going for a hike near the Yokoyama observation deck. Today, we're heading to the famous Mikimoto Pearl Island.
Mikimoto Kokichi, alongside the Amma divers, produced the world's first ever cultured pearl right here on this very island in 1893.
Years later, in 1929, when Mikimoto had become a very rich man off the back of his pearl business, he bought the island and developed it as a place to demonstrate pearl cultivation.
I told you we'd see the Amma divers in action in 3 different spots, and this is the 3rd.
If you can't make it all the way out to Kashikojima or Sato-Umian, Mikimoto Pearl Island is much more easily accessible. The Amma dive at set times each day for about a 10-minute performance, and you can watch from the island. If I'm honest, I've been wondering this entire time where I could shop for pearls without harvesting them myself, and I've finally arrived. This is like a pearl shopping paradise. Okay, but it wouldn't be a Golden Route detour if I didn't at least take you back to the Golden Route. So let's head back to one of those golden spots, Osaka. The reason I've ended my detour at Mikimoto Island is because it's super easy to head to Osaka Namba Station from here. You just go to Toba Station, and it's 1 train all the way. Of course, it's also easy to head back to Nagoya or Tokyo from here too, if that's the route you're going for. But given Osaka's reputation as one of Japan's biggest food capitals, I had my eye on a kushikatsu place in Shinsekai. But I couldn't visit the area without making a quick stop for the best view of Osaka from Abe no Harukasu. But enough sightseeing, I'm hungry.
名物串カツ2本、
2つ。はい。
豚バラ2本、
豚バラを2つ。
ささみわさび2本。乾杯I love kushikatsu. It's one of my favorite foods for sure. It's just fried stuff. What's not to like?
Yes, the Golden Route is flashy with its big names, but the Pearl Route shines with a more understated elegance that can add to any Japan trip. And if you're looking for more adventurous detours off the Golden Route, have a look at Matt's trip to Shigisan next, which you can visit from Osaka too.